I love him and he says he loves me too. But when I look at our relationship, I feel like I'm the only one truly investing in us. I make the plans, I prioritize our time together, I think about our future. Meanwhile, he seems comfortable just letting things be, as if commitment is something optional. When I try to talk about it, he brushes it off, saying I'm overthinking, that I'm creating problems where there aren't any. But how can I ignore this feeling? How can I pretend it doesn't hurt to give so much and receive so little in return? Wisdom: how to overcome a partner's lack of commitment in a relationship.
You seek reciprocal love, a commitment that goes beyond words and manifests in actions. Yet, faced with your partner's lack of commitment, you feel alone within the relationship, as if you are carrying the weight of something that should be shared. You search for answers, attempt conversations, ask for more involvement, but in return, you receive dismissals or empty justifications. And so, the question arises: should you insist, accept, or walk away? A lack of commitment in a relationship is not a minor detail. It is a reflection of something deeper. Every healthy bond requires balance between giving and receiving. If you feel that your dedication is not being reciprocated, you need to reflect on what is truly holding this relationship together. If you wish to overcome this situation and find clarity, there are 5 essential lessons you must understand. First lesson: commitment is not a promise, but a daily choice. True commitment is not just in words spoken during moments of emotion, but in the daily choices someone makes to be present, to build, and to strengthen the relationship. Promises may be beautiful, but it is actions that sustain them. Committing to someone does not just mean being physically present. It means demonstrating, day after day, that this person holds an important place in your life. If your partner says they love you, yet their actions show disinterest or neglect, their words become meaningless. Real love is expressed through gestures, not just declarations. A healthy relationship is not maintained solely by the desire to be together, but by the continuous effort of both to keep the connection strong. Second lesson: your partner's lack of commitment does not define your worth. When someone is unwilling to commit to you, it does not mean that you are not worthy of commitment. Your value is not determined by how another person treats you. Often a person's lack of involvement has more to do with their own limitations than with any flaw in you. Some avoid deepening a relationship due to fear, insecurity, or simply because they are not ready. This does not mean you have to settle for less than you deserve, or try to prove your worth to someone who refuses to see it. Your essence should not be shaped by another's inability to fully invest. Third lesson: insisting where there is no reciprocity weakens rather than strengthens. Love should never be begged for. The more you try to convince someone to commit, the less genuine that commitment will be. True commitment is not forced. It arises from a sincere desire to be present and build something together. If you have to plead for involvement, you may be investing in a space that was never truly yours. A one-sided effort does not build a solid relationship. It only prolongs an illusion. Remaining in a cycle of expectation and disappointment can lead you to lose yourself, trying to sustain something that was never balanced to begin with. Fourth lesson: recognizing repetitive patterns is an act of wisdom. If every conversation about the issue ends with your partner denying that there is a problem, saying you are exaggerating, or that this is just how things are, then there is a pattern that needs to be acknowledged. What repeats in a relationship often defines its future. Ignoring warning signs now may lead to greater frustration later. A partner who dismisses your concerns today is unlikely to change tomorrow. Relationships require mutual effort, but when only one side seeks balance, the relationship turns into an emotional battlefield. Observing, understanding, and taking conscious action is what allows you to break cycles that lead nowhere. Fifth lesson: your presence should be a choice, not a convenience. You are not in a relationship to fill someone else's emptiness or to make their life easier. True love is not based on convenience, but on choice. When someone truly wants to be with you, they do not do so only when it suits them. They do so because they recognize your value and genuinely want to build something real. Your presence should be a privilege for those who receive it, not a burden that constantly needs justification. Love is an act of giving, but it is also an act of self-respect. If the other person is unwilling to commit, perhaps it is time to question whether you should continue dedicating yourself to this relationship. Now, allow me to share a parable that perfectly illustrates what I mean. The parable of the flame and the wind. There was a small flame that illuminated a dark cave. Every day, the wind passed through, playing with the flame, blowing gently, sometimes extinguishing its light for a few moments. But every time the wind moved away, the flame struggled to reignite, believing that one day he would stay and stop putting her out. Time passed, and the flame began to weaken. The wind, indifferent, continued its path, unaware of the impact it was having. Until one day, the flame, tired of being extinguished and relit over and over again, realized that her glow did not depend on the wind. And so, she decided to move, seeking a place where she could burn freely, without having to struggle to exist. And then, she discovered something new. There were places where the wind did not come to extinguish, but to nurture the fire. Places where the flame could grow, be strong, and shine without needing to hide or constantly recover. You are that flame. If you are constantly trying to reignite something that the other person keeps putting out, if you feel that your light depends on an unstable presence, perhaps it is time to move. True commitment is not a wind that occasionally blows by. It is a presence that strengthens, that keeps the light alive without requiring a constant struggle to avoid being extinguished. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you believe is essential for a relationship to be truly reciprocal? Comment below and share your thoughts. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to the channel to continue this journey of growth and learning. May your heart find a place where it can shine without fear, and may your love always be received with the care it deserves.